Welcome back. Session 2 of Pale Horse, my painting videos. Yesterday was about focus and determination and excuses versus reasons. Um, there's a lot of reasons why we don't do things that are good for us or that help us. And I could have a lot of reasons why I don't do this because I never seem to have my ducks in a row. And but I've learned that if I wait till I have my ducks in a row, I'm never going to get across the road. It'll just never happen. And so yesterday was trying to paint outside. I did check the weather. The wind was only supposed to get maybe to 8 miles per hour, but if you watched it, you could see that it really came in very very brisk and blustery and blew me off my porch. So we regrouped, and I was determined not to let it be an excuse not to paint. So so we have to watch that, especially when we're feeling kind of disconcerted or things are out of our normal routine. It's hard to gather up ourselves and pick up the pieces and keep going. So I encourage you to do the same. Keep going. Yesterday I didn't mention the colors, and I meant to do that. Thought I did. Might have been a part of the video that didn't make it. The colors I like to use, well, for this particular painting, I've got a burnt sienna, I've got a burnt carmine, or carmine, potato, burnt carmine, cobalt blue, cerulean blue, this cad red medium, yellow ochre. This color can be made by making a violet and putting a touch of black into it. I like the colors that come out of tubes. There's a clarity to them and a richness. The more we mix colors together, the more they get dummied up a bit. So, but those are the colors. Oh, I also use titanium white, which isn't on the palette at the moment. This is a disposable palette. It comes in a tablet. I like this very much. I'm not into a lot of cleanup. So I'm going to get us going on this painting. Oh, no, I want to talk about what we did yesterday, just to review. So this painting started with a sketch, came in and sketched like you would with a pencil, except I use a brush, and it's more of a direct approach for me. I don't worry about erasers, and I don't like pencil because the transparent paints, which I like to use, don't always cover the pencil. In fact, you can't cover a pencil with a transparent paint. You have to mix an opaque color into it. So we did the sketch, and all along, every process we're readjusting our drawing. There's a lot of ways to get a drawing onto a canvas. There's so many ways. Some people grid off the canvas, they grid off their reference material, and they start the drawing that way. They can trace it on, they can do all kinds of things. I like to just take my brush, and it's a Freedom. It's called my Freedom brush, and just freely sketch it in. And the whole thing is called a composition, and this is the composition. Then the next thing we did was we brought in our values. On a color wheel, generally there's a minimum of 10 values, from the darkest, which is black, to the lightest, which is white, and there's all those gray tones in between. So we brought in our values. I like to bring in the darks first, and they start to create the form. Line doesn't create form. I mean, it gives us a shape, but it doesn't create the form. It doesn't give us the 3 dimensions. Values give us the dimensions. It starts separating the planes. It starts giving us a sense of space and dimension. And without our values, we just have a line drawing that doesn't have dimension. So they're really important. And like I said, the values do all the hard work, and it's the colors that get all the credit. Um, the other thing, once we did that, we brought in our darkest values, and these I call the halftones. And we didn't paint the whites, the lightest ones. Uh, kind of did. It's got reflected light on it, but I mean with this value color. The last thing we did was to paint the area around this horse, this head, and that gave us the atmosphere. It gave us the mood. It gave us the temperature, and then that's when I came in and brought in reflected lights into this horse. So today we're going to pick up from there. I'm going to put this, I'm going to get into the driver's seat here, and we will continue working on this painting.